Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. It's Alan Smith, and today I'm going to debut the gaming hall. It is basically finished at this point. I've got my trusty Costco fold-up tables here. In the past I had stated that I was going to build 2 custom-built tables. Right now, at least for the foreseeable future, I'm just not going that route. My buddy Rob, whose home we play in a lot, almost on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, he has used these fold-up tables for years, and it's hard to get around the versatility of these tables. I can move them around, we can do different configurations, I can tear down the tables if I just wanted to have a group of people down here for whatever, a planning session of some kind, maybe for a convention or something. So these are very versatile. I can fold them up to get them out of the way. I could just put up one table for like a Dungeons and Dragons session in the future. And yeah, so just a few finishing touches to do. I've got right by here in the table, you can't see, with my miter saw. Just a little bit more trim to do on the back end of the studio. We still have the blank palette, which I'll show you here in a little bit, of the new train layout. I have one spot of ceiling here that is right below the stairs that I'm going to get completed here. I've got all the materials finally. I have the final box of ceiling tiles, trim, all these other things is finally becoming readily available. You know, for months there it was really hard to get materials to finish the project, which would have been, you know, lighting, ceiling tiles. You had to order all this stuff. It just went on and on. Doorknobs, you know, the doorknobs that I wanted, the brushed nickel doorknobs. Brushed nickel studio lamps, what they call tree lamps. I'm putting 2 on either side of the, under the soffit, and we're putting another tree lamp over here by some artwork, another a little bit of a dark spot in the corner. Yeah, so the covers for my steps will be a final step of the project. We've finished our pantry project. I did not build custom shelves, it just wasn't up to it. I've had a lot going on with work, and just basically this project took a lot out of me. This was a long project. It was a lot of work. As usual, I really bit off a lot. Like I said, the only thing I did not do in this project was the electrical and the drywall finishing, and that was a nightmare, finding a contractor to come in and do it. The original contractor, or the contractor, came in, said it would be 4 days start to finish to get all the walls mudded and sanded, and it turned into a 2-week process. So with the COVID-19 issue, it's created havoc in the supply chain of supplies. Number one, it took weeks and weeks just to get the doors right. So, and then fitting everything in. It wasn't just a winter project. This ended up, by the time we got to March, drug into May, drug into June. I've had, as you've seen on my previous videos, I've got my hobby cubby's been done. I've been loving that. It's really working out great. It's a great space. We had a lot of stuff in this area that was related to finishing the pantry. The pantry's complete. In fact, I'm sitting here, in our new pantry area on the other side of this wall, we have a Excalibur dehydrator, and today we're making teriyaki beef jerky, and it smells so good down here. Yesterday she was drying apple slices, and it smelled like apples down here all day. So that's a nice side effect to having the nice new pantry area. So that's done. We went with heavy duty plastic shelves in this area. Everything down in this space below ground is either waterproof or highly water resistant. The doors, the trim, the flooring, half of the walls up are green board, right? I've got, you may hear it running in the back, I have a dehumidifier hooked up full time now. It's running out of the sump closet. But you can see here, guys, we're going to have a lot of good gaming here. I'm going to cut to a segment here. I'm on the sides here. We're going to be using two large, long, low cabinets from IKEA. They're called Besta. I want to showcase those for you guys, because those of you who may have gaming areas already and looking for a great solution for storing your miniatures, storing your scenery, your buildings, your trees. You can see the two plastic cabinets back here I've used for years. Those are going away, and we are ordering two 70-inch, almost six foot long cabinets that are at the perfect height. They're right at 30 inches, just like the tables. It'll be a good place for gamers to come in, put their army bags down, their army, anything they're transporting their armies in, to get the armies out, get them on the table upon deployment. And then we'll still have glass cabinetry in the front with lighting, where I can put scenery, buildings, miniatures and things on either side of the main gaming table. So the way we have this set up here, guys, is we have two 6-foot tables running on either side. So we have a total of 4 6-foot long tables by roughly 30 inches wide by 30 inches tall. It makes a great height for gaming on. Like I said, playing at Rob's, these are the type of tables he uses. They're the perfect height, so you can still reach over and get the things. And like I said, we can tear these down, we can reconfigure. We can only use 2 tables if we just want to do 2 tables. If we're having more people come over for maybe like a participation game of some kind, or even if we're just running 2 players versus 2 players, and some extra players can come just to watch, we can open up more space in here. So you see the table over there on the opposing side. I've got some my Flames of War memorabilia that's going to get framed. Those will be going on the walls. I got my Star Wars movie posters here on this wall. So those things are taking shape. Right behind me on the main wall in the back, we're going with a 60-inch flat screen a Samsung flat screen. So we can play movies, we can play music. It's going to be set up, it's going to be a smart TV like my other TVs in the home. So it's really going to be nice down here. We can come down here, it's going to be its own space. Below the TV, we will have a serving table where we will have snacks, beverages, things like that. So this entire space is set up for serious gaming. The game that's coming up here, I have a game scheduled for November 14th, a Saturday, will be the first group game here. Now, Rob Rhodes and I have already played American War of Independence. It's on a previous video you'll want to check out. As soon as I had the lighting installed, I couldn't wait, even though I still had trim work to do. We went ahead and jumped the gun and had a game. So we're going to have 3v3. You'll have an area set up here with the 3 players. They'll have their own area to put their armies and accoutrement, drinks and whatnot. On the other side will be the matching cabinetry for doing the same thing on this side, facing off against each other. So yeah, so it's really coming together. I have another game scheduled December 12th, which is a Saturday. The November 14th game will be 15mm battle group, and we're doing a desert scheme. So you can see here behind me, I've already started assembling the things for the board that we're going to do here. I've got a village, which is a desert village, Mediterranean style buildings. I've got my palm trees, I've got a couple oases, and at this point it's just getting to Jo-Ann Fabrics and picking out some felt or something, a type of cloth that's got some nice depth to it, because that is how we're going to roll here in the gaming hall in the future. My old 6x6 board you see in some of my earliest videos, me building, to get it out of here I had to cut it in half and break it in half, right? So it's gone. It's in the barn. It will be going to the dump. I have a host of other things that need to go to the dump in my barn. Old stuff that needs to go. My old tournament board that we played on for years, the 6x4 with the Games Workshop mat glued to it, that's in the barn. So all that stuff is gone. We're just not gaming like that anymore. We are doing the rolling hills with cloth, the realistic looking cloth. You can use the grass mats, the flexible grass mats. That's really the future of how we're going to be doing our setups here. Just like you've seen in previous battle reports over at Rob's place, that's where I'm getting this. And you notice a lot of other clubs and other YouTube creators, that's what they are using for their battles. Now it just looks so much more realistic, and we're really going for that immersion of the realism, which was really going to add to the whole enjoyment of the battle. Now the December 12th game on Saturday here at the studio is going to be Star Wars Legion, and I already have a test board which I've shown before on the channel. It's the 4x4 mining facility we used to play Warhammer on. It's working perfectly for Star Wars Legion, and I have just been play testing the rules and teaching myself the rules so that I'll be ready for that game. So we have not come up with how we're going to do the battle. We may just keep the battle set up for the desert and just do a desert battle Star Wars Legion style. That may happen. We'll just use the same setup that we're going to use for battle group. I haven't decided what we're going to do. I don't have a lot of 28 millimeter buildings and things, which I'm planning on building a lot of that from foam board, or from I guess what you call it, the styrene sheets that you can buy at any Hobby Lobby, and making a lot of my own buildings and things in the future, painting them and doing everything myself, which I showed in a videos series that I did last year you might want to check out, which was inspired by Little Wars TV, and building your own buildings. Not that it's because of cost savings, it's just another aspect of the hobby I'd like to delve into more. Since I'm building a new train layout, those are the same types of skills I want to use. Making my own trees, making my own buildings, making my own sci-fi buildings and structures, and just building them myself, putting them in the spray booth. I've got everything I need now down here. The only thing that we'll be adding in the future here in the studio will be a 3D printer, right? So that will be an operation here in the foreseeable future. So I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of where we're at in this whole process. It's been a year-long process. It's been worth it. It's been a lot of work. It's been stressful at times, and COVID certainly didn't help, right? The supply chain is just completely broken down, making it difficult to get things, right? To get supplies. So yeah, thanks for coming along. I'm going to cut over here, and I'm going to show you just some of the kind of the plans and kind of where we're at with the new train layout area here in the studio. Okay, now we're over here in the area of the studio that is going to be the new train layout. Now behind me here, if any of you follow my channel, know that I've had this layout since our previous home when my kids were little. This was actually positioned under a set of stairs. We had a half basement in our old house, and I had this up underneath the stairs. It was perfect. We played on it for years. We lived at that house, I think, for 8 years. A 6x4, and you can see here, there's our office, entrance into our office, where we run our business and do all the editing magic. But it's a nice, perfect size space for an N-scale layout. It seems small, but if you look at the 6x4, I've got an entire farming facility, horse farm, right? And I have plenty of space to spare to add more things to the board. I've been playing with this, getting ideas for the new layout. As I said in a previous video, my plan really is to get this one. I had to replace some of the track sections because it wasn't used for so many years. And I honestly was going to get rid of it and not do trains anymore. And I thought, you know what, I really enjoy trains. And that's tied in with my modeling. So I decided, I made an executive decision that I am going to stick with my train hobby. It's very enjoyable. Any of you guys that do it, you know, and it is addicting, just like the gaming and the modeling of wargaming. So this is kind of where we're headed. I'll be planning this out probably over the winter time. I have some other big projects with rebuilding some equipment for my business and some other projects that I have going on. But we're not planning any travels this winter with COVID. We don't want to deal with the whole traveling fiasco that's out there right now with flying and the masks. And you know, some areas are more strict than others. You know, our other channel, Exploring with the Smiths, we were planning several things. We don't even have we have about a third of what we had planned to do this summer on our travels. A lot of our travels were planned to be at, say, North Ohio. Well, up there they're totally mask crazy. You got to wear a mask outside, you got to wear masks everywhere inside buildings, and you get reported, la 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 la. Well, I'm not messing with that. So we don't have that time commitment going through this winter. So, and I'm not rebuilding my basement, right? So that time's going to be freed up so I can use it to do projects for my business and sit down with some graph paper and really start planning out the bench work for my train layout. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. This layout at some point will need to be carried out. I think we're good on the size and getting it up and out of here. My 6x6 board, what hurt me was it was fine 6 foot getting it up the steps. It was just the height. We couldn't get it positioned to get it up and out the stairwell. So I had to cut the foam board in half. Sorry guys. But here I have the old layout. I'm planning on taking it out to the workshop and covering it in plastic. And if one of the kids wants it down the road for to play with their kids, that's fine. If not, I will probably sell it at some point. All right. So again, thanks for coming along to the studio today, guys. And we'll catch you next time. Ciao.